All right. Welcome to another episode to What Did I Miss with Dennis Styles. On this show, I'll be covering all the stuff not on my main YouTube channel at DS2 Smooth, from movies and gaming reviews to movie and gaming news to anime, comic books, and anything else I feel like yapping about. Episodes drop weekly. All right. Let's hold on. Before I get into it, is it weird to not eat food before the dentist? That's not weird, right? Right. Because, like, I mean, yeah, you could just, like, brush your teeth and floss after, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I just want to come with, like, is that just brush my teeth and floss and just go to the dentist? Like, come with, like, a fresh mouth. I don't know. Is that, that, now saying out loud, that was kind of weird, but that's not weird, right? I went to the dentist. That's why I'm asking. And, bro, they low key fucks my mouth up, not gonna lie. They numb the right side of my, like, mouth, and I was eating, like, afterwards, and I bit my lip so bad, and I didn't even feel it because my mouth was numb. I just like was at work, and I went to the bathroom, bro. My mouth was just like bleeding hella bad. I was like, wow. So it's yeah, it's I'm going through it right now. But anyways, the news. Let's we got so this week we got a double review. So with Monkey Man starring Dave Patel hit theaters this week, so we're gonna get into that, and then also season 2 of Invincible wrapped up. So yeah, we're gonna get into that, and that's just a lot of yapping. So I try to keep the news light this week and key stuff only, and I did. If there's time, I'm like, I have stuff that like I didn't add, so I'll just like quickly touch on that if there's time. But I mean, it's not nothing serious, and that's why I cut it. But we have some the news, the actual news. We have some Fantastic Four casting, Silver Surfer casting to get into, and it confirmed it's pretty some interesting casting. Confirmed some rumors that we've been talking about, and the new trailer for Star Wars Tales of the Empire dropped with some news, with some Star Wars movie news following along with it. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Can't wait to get into that because that's I didn't even notice when I was like watching the trailer. I didn't even like make the connection, but that's Tales of the Empire is like a spinoff. It's continuing the like anthology. Is that the right word for the series for of Tales of the Jedi, which I really enjoyed. And it's been a while since it's been like 2-3 years, right? Since then, since Tales of the Jedi. So this is Tales of the Empire, but we'll get into that. Oh, and the gaming side of things, nothing super heavy, but there is a Christopher Nolan Dark Knight video game footage that got leaked. So we'll be talking about that on the gaming side of stuff. But there will be time codes down below, so feel free to jump around to whatever part you want to. And I don't think I have anything that I want to talk about from last week. At least not. Yeah, not in the. I think I'll bring up some stuff in the weekly watch list, but that is a little later. Again, time codes below if you want to jump around to whatever part of the podcast you want to. Bro, my lips sting so bad. Oh my gosh. And I keep accidentally licking it. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts, buddy. Let's just get in straight to the news though. So yeah. So the Fantastic Four Silver Surfer casting. So Julia Gardner has been cast as the Silver Surfer in the MCU. So Julia Gardner, I know her from Ozark, and I think that was maybe her breakout role. I'm not sure. But yeah, I know her from Ozark. It's like this show it has Jason Bateman, Arrested Development, and various other horrible bosses too. Both movies, but not specifically number two. But yeah, that's a really good show in my opinion. I kind of fell off with it, not gonna lie to you, but she's really good in that. So this casting, of course, people were so very normal with this casting and didn't like be weird about it. Apparently, so I was a little confused. So I didn't know that she's cast as Silver Surfer, and this confirms like rumors. So there was some rumors that they wanted to get Anya Taylor-Joy to play Silver Surfer, which I did speak on that, and I was like, okay, that's interesting casting. I said so basically like along with this as well. Yeah, I want Norrin Rad and like classic Silver Surfer and whatnot. But I think this is like interesting in a way to like just this could very well much be asked, but it's like let's see what they do with it. But she'll be playing Shala Bao, and she's a love interest to Norrin Rad, who is the OG Silver Surfer. And what's it called? He. What am I trying to say? Oh yeah, if you don't know who Norrin Rad is and like how he became the Silver Surfer, Galactus. I don't know. So I was reading. I'll get into like why I was reading this in a second, but I was reading Fantastic Four life story, and I'll get in more into it. But basically, um in that comic it said that Norrin Rad Silver Surfer was Galactus's first herald, and like a person who like go scope out planets for Galactus to go eat or whatever. And I thought I didn't know that. Is that a thing that like he's his first? I thought like Galactus kind of just had a bunch of different heralds throughout time. But anyways, Galactus came to his planet, and instead of letting him eat it, he made a deal with him and said, "I'll be your herald and scope out different planets for you to eat and whatnot." And doing so, he spared Galactus's planet. Or no, he spared Silver Surfer's Norrin Rad's planet, but she's gonna be playing. So I don't know if Shala Bal is from his planet. I mean, I assume so. If it's his love interest, I don't know if they are like a interstellar traveling species. But anyways, on Earth 9997, so alternate reality, she was Silver Surfer, and there's a picture with them of being like Silver Surfers together. So I don't know if she was Silver Surfer with him. But yeah, she is a Silver Surfer in the multiverse. And then also there's rumors attached, that's been floating around, that not attached to this, but that have been floating around that this Fantastic Four. Oh, actually, there's some stuff that may confirm it too. That this iteration of Fantastic Four are going to be set in a multiverse, and they're going to come over to the MCU or something like that. So if that's the case, Julia Gardner as the female Silver Surfer makes sense. But me personally, like I want to see Norrin Rad. I feel like he didn't really get enough time and justice and enough time to shine in the one live action appearance that he was in. But Julia Gardner is like she's a good actress, and so it's like this is an interesting premise. This, like I said, could very well be asked, but I'm on board to like see what they do with it at the very least. But yeah, and then attached as I don't know if this is official or like I didn't really see this anywhere else, but I guess Lakeith Stanfield, he like reacted to this casting. He said thought it was going to be me, I guess. So seemingly he was in the running to be Silver Surfer, which would have been my like safe casting. Like I would have been like, okay, yeah, that's for sure. I feel like that would have been really cool to see Lakeith Stanfield as the Silver Surfer. But along with this casting coming out, there was the first poster for the Human Torch. Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch, and he's actually on fire, and it's like kind of in the style of the debut poster of the casting. But what's interesting about it, there's a couple of things interesting about this artwork, is that the New York in the background, or seemingly New York, is like a kind of a future retro New York. So it's obviously very different if this is New York, or I mean, even if it's not New York, there's not anywhere in the MCU that really looks like this. So this is very clearly gonna be set on, if this is like official like artwork, like this could just be, I don't know, but this is, well, I mean, it is official artwork, but I mean like not just like, I guess, concept art for the movie, I guess. But if it's not, this is like kind of hard, like soft confirming that this is gonna be in a different reality than the current MCU. But then what's actually really cool though with this fantastic or with this Human Torch poster is that he was wearing like this lined sweater in the like they debut casting picture, and it's kind of like simulating his original, what am I trying to say? His original look in the comics, where he has these like this line pattern, like underneath the flames or whatever, and it's also like extending to his face too. So that's just like a cool, like, I guess, throwback look, and like how they incorporated that into his like design, and how reminiscent of the comics and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty cool. What else? Is there another piece attached to this Fantastic Four news? I don't think so. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah. Well, all in all, I guess I'm interested in it. I'm along for the ride. A lot of people are being like kind of weird about it. And then also, even like just because you like it doesn't mean like you're some weird like misogynist. There are definitely people like that, but then people just want to see Norn Rad. So I mean, there's that too. Like you don't, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like I'm in that camp as well, but like I'm open to this. I just want to see what they do with it. Yeah, so just let it play out for me, I guess. But so onto some Star Wars news though. So the first trailer for Tales of the Empire dropped. So this is releasing May 4th on Disney Plus. And this is so this is a actually it is an anthology series. Is that the right word though? Hold on, actually, let me anthology is like a multiple oh didn't mute, rookie mistake. All right, hold on. Let's look up anthology series. Okay. A published collection of poems or other pieces of writing. So it's just like kind of multiple stories or whatever. But do they have like if they are like kind of like the main theme, themed? Does that make it? I don't know. Whatever. So I guess another anthology series. So I really like Tales of the Jedi, and this is kind of like so Tales of the Empire. I don't know how far along they're gonna do with it. Like, are they gonna, because Tales of the Jedi was kind of a little bit all over the place from memory. I don't know if there was like a maybe like thematically there was like a lesson, like a through line, but like I feel like lore wise it was kind of all over the place. Like it was like a little bit of Ahsoka. It kind of like it told Ahsoka's story and whatnot. Hold on, I'm just trying to see like remember what the through line was. Because it was the Qui-Gon stuff. Was it just like the seeds of the Empire sprouting, and then like you kind of get like being the seeds being planted and stuff, and then you get them like sprouting and everything with like Ahsoka stuff. Is that was kind of like the theme of it? I don't know. I gotta rewatch it, and I mean I wouldn't. I'm not like what's it called? I mean, what am I trying to say? I'm not like excited to rewatch it, but I'm saying it's not gonna be a bad rewatch because it was really good. So yeah, I really love the Count Dooku stuff and then the Qui-Gon stuff a lot. So, so I guess that like this is basically what I'm trying to say. Is this gonna be like the start of the Empire to like the fall, kinda? But anyways, there's this seemingly so this trailer introduces what is her name, Barriss something back, and she was in the Clone Wars. I kind of forgot her story. I know that like she set up Ahsoka somehow, but I kind of forgot, and I kind of like forgot what happened to her because a lot of people were like, when this came out, they're like, "Oh, I knew she wasn't dead and whatnot." Da, 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 da. So I don't like, yeah, I don't remember like where her story left off. Of like, was it that much of a cliffhanger and stuff? But like, hold on. Regardless of story aside, really quick, the animation, bro. I love the Clone Wars like new animation. Like, it would already had like a decent art style, but like, bro, it's on a different level now. Like when they brought it back, what season 7? Or is it season 6? Whatever is like was the newest season of Clone Wars and like wrapped up the Battle of Mandalore or whatever, bro, it's just so buttery smooth. Like, oh my goodness, I can't even. I just love it in motion so much. And then seeing Anakin in his like not season 3, episode 3, look in the Clone Wars art style was just gas, bro, cherry on top. But yeah, so this seems to be following that like Barriss character, and it seems to be like the rise of the Inquisitors. We're getting like the look at this Morgan character. So she was in is this the same? I know it's this in this trailer, it's the same Inquisitor that was in Tales of the Jedi that like fought Ahsoka. I'm not gonna like spoil that fight, but yeah, if you know, you know. But is it this Morgan? It is this Morgan like girl character, right? That's that Inquisitor. But so I mean, I'm just along. Oh, we gotta look at Grievous. He looks like a dog. Yeah. So and then we get a peek at Vader in it. I mean, I don't really have like much to say because I don't know like what's happening necessarily. But I'm really just along for the ride. Like if it's if it's anywhere quality wise near Tales of the Jedi, I'm on board, to be honest, because I really like. If you haven't watched Tales of the Jedi, go fuck with that. that's some good Star Wars right there. And it's funny. It's like last week I was just saying like, Star Wars is kind of in the gutter for me, but like the animation side, it's like a little bit more up there. And not completely because I didn't watch what is that Bad Batch. I didn't watch Bad Batch. It didn't really hook me at first. Like I probably should give it more of a chance. And especially because like Asajj Ventress is back and whatnot, and I fuck with her tough, so I should probably give it more of a chance. But like I don't know, it's like there's this I was gonna say a love hate relationship with Star Wars, but it's not even that. It's like not even I hate it. It's just like I'm indifferent to it at times, I guess that's like a love indifferent relationship with Star Wars. But yeah, I mean, I'm always on board for good Star Wars, so this is looking like something I'll enjoy. So yeah, like I said, May 4th is when this is dropping, so I'll be tapped in with that review. I don't know, we'll see. I have some X-Men 97. I don't know if I'm going to review that, but I'll talk about that more in not spoilers, the weekly watch list. But yeah, so some more Star Wars news though. But Wilmon, who wrote the prison arc in Andor, will co-write James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi. So this is not the next Star Wars film. So the next Star Wars film is going to be The Mandalorian and Grogu. I think that's the official title. Kind of indifferent to that movie. I'm a little open to it, a little indifferent. Well, anyways, it's not about that. I guess I'll finish that point. It's like there could be some good with The Mandalorian and Grogu, but then with season 3 and like with where season 2 is like slowly declining, there can also be some very ass and bad stuff. So I'm kind of like, we'll see. But anyways, this movie, I'm really excited for this. So for the same reasons, or some of the reasons I'm excited for the Acolyte as well. This just getting away from the Skywalker era, Empire, Rebel era. This is with Acolyte. It's going what? This is going to be in the past. So this is Dawn of the Jedi. So this is like they said 25,000 years in the past. So like the very start of the Jedi, and so this is like way, 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 way out of the realm of the Skywalker stuff. And the Acolyte is the kind of not Dawn of the Sith, but like uprising of the Sith, and like how they planted their seeds in able to take over when they did in the Clone Wars and whatnot. But this is so James Mangold, he did Logan, and he's in talks to do some things for he's in talks to do Swamp Thing for DC, for the DCU and like James Gunn and stuff. Yeah, I mean he's just a really good director. And then the person who's co-writing this wrote some of the best Andor stuff. Not only did it write the prison arc, or like that whole that prison arc, bro. When I was watching Andor, it just came out of like nowhere, and it was just like the greatest like subplot ever. That it intertwined with the main plot, yes, but it was just like so random, and it just ended up being so something that just like I was just just a lot of people enjoyed. And so him working on this might be something special. This might be something special. So I'm really excited to keep eyes on this as it develops further. But though, along with when I mentioned the DCU Swamp Thing stuff, so I hope that he's still attached to that, because I really think that could be something too, and really good addition to like the DCU and like different directors and their tones and whatnot, because it's supposed to have like a more of a horror element to it. But I hope that this doesn't like kind of interfere with that, and hope that the schedules line up and for him to still do that. But yeah, Dawn of the Jedi, super. I don't even know what to even expect with this. I was reading this is from the Hollywood Reporter. I was reading like some stuff. It was like some with like the 10 Commandments and something. So hopefully we're not gonna see, when did like lightsabers like get introduced to like the Jedi? I know they didn't start out with them, so it's gonna be a lot of just Force stuff and a lot of connecting with the Force and whatnot. And I hope that like we get some like outlandish Force stuff, like I don't know, like some people like, and just seeing people like with like pure connections to the Force, like really strong connection, they could like really do some crazy shit with the Force. So I hope there's some cool, like maybe even if like going so far in the past, you could introduce new Force shit and like it not affect like the later story, because you could just say, okay, yeah, they could do some crazy shit with the Force, but one, these people are just like, they are the Force pretty much and like connected to the Force in such a strong way. So it's like there's that, and then also they could just like these teachings got lost or whatever. Which I guess kind of doesn't make sense, with the Force, everything's connected. But anyways, yeah, I just hope to see some crazy Force stuff. But yeah, the last piece of movie news is Denis Villeneuve, the director of both Dune movies, Blade Runner 2049, Sicario. Is that what it's called? I gotta check that out. But Dune. His next film is nuclear war scenario. Actually, no, sorry, nuclear war a scenario. The film follows the events that would happen if a nuclear war begun, based on information from interviews with military and civilian experts. So there was, I think, a couple like movies that he said that he was just gonna do before doing 3, and I think this was actually maybe a movie. So I think this is it. I I brought this in for a couple reasons because this came from Variety, and this also confirmed in the same article that Dune 3 is also in development. And Denis Villeneuve, he said that he wasn't gonna do Dune 3 unless that. I mean, one, fucking Dune 2 like is, everyone's raving for Dune 2 and whatnot. So a sequel was definitely gonna happen. Whether, I don't know, would if let's say he didn't want to come back to direct Dune 3, would they try to get a different director to do Dune 3, or would they would just leave it alone? I from they it's a fucking company. They'll definitely get it. Try to get a different director to do Dune 3, which I don't know if it'll. Oh, what's some crazy fucking news though is that Dune 3 possibly. So Greg Fraser, who did the cinematography for Dune 2, and I think Dune 1 too, I'm pretty sure, but he also did it for Batman. That could interfere with that. And so if Greg Fraser doesn't work on the Batman part 2, that could be some crazy, and that could really hurt it, not gonna lie. Because the Batman has some strong ass visuals. But yeah, that's that. Before we move on, I brought the nuclear war scenario movie. It's because I was the Civil War movie that's coming out next week. That would be the next week's review. But it's funny because it's just with everything going on with the world. It's funny how media kind of comes in and reflects that a little bit, and it's a little eerie sometimes. Like, is this, like I was saying with the Civil War stuff? Is like, is this Hollywood, the insiders knowing something that we don't? I don't know. Probably not. Probably be just putting on a tinfoil hat. But hey. Anyways, let's So the gaming news though. So it's just so just a little bit of gaming news. Just this one piece. So, but a canceled footage from a canceled Batman game set in the Nolan verse. Footage leaked out, but so I guess this game got scrapped and turned into Shadow of Mordor, which is a Lord of the Rings game, which is kind of like a Arkham clone a little bit, like a fighting parry system or whatnot, similar to Arkham, similar, I would say, like stealth and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good game, to be honest. It's a good Arkham clone, but I didn't know. So I guess people's known about this for a while. I did not know that it was. I didn't know it was a thing, and I didn't know it was scrapped turned into fucking Shadow of Mordor. But then also, it was supposed to. This was supposed to be the debut of the Nemesis system, and which was in Shadow of Mordor. And if you don't know what the Nemesis system is, Warner Bros. Patented this this like gameplay mechanic, and super scummily patented it, so like no one else can use it because it's a fucking great. It would have been a great addition to gaming, and it basically, let's say for instance, well, in the context of the Batman, let's say like you were going to, and you stop this crime, right? You went in this alley, stop this crime. You're fighting the criminal, and he beats you. Okay, he beats you, right? He's gonna be so the Nemesis system. He's gonna be able to level up in the ranks of like his little criminal empire. So yeah, right now he's just like a petty street tough. But since he beat you, now he has pull in the streets, bro. Now he could be like, damn, I beat the Batman. Like maybe to say to his boss, like, boss, I just kicked the Batman's ass. Like, where's my promotion? Now he's like a simple lowly street tough. Now he's a fucking, I don't know what's the next I don't know, the next stage of being a fucking gangster. I don't know, but basically he's up in the ranks now, and so next time you see him, he'll remember the encounter, like, oh, I beat your ass last time, da da da. But then if he beats you again, like, he keeps ranking up type shit. So it's like eventually he could be like a mafia don type shit just for beating Batman's ass repeatedly. And so like that was like kind of like a bare bones like oversimplification of the system, but it's like basically that. And Warner Bros and WB patented, so they're the only company that could use that system. So it's just like, damn, that would have been a great addition to a lot of different like single player like games, you know. But yeah, it was in Shadow of Mordor, and apparently it's gonna be in the Wonder Woman game that's coming out. That is just kind of got like fucking announced like 2 years ago, and there's just hasn't been really any news on the development. So that's kind of in limbo, seemingly right now. Could be making great strides behind the scene, like development wise, but it just hasn't been said to the public at all. So it's like, damn, is that gonna be canceled or what? But yeah, the gameplay though. It's like an unfinished build, so it's nothing crazy or anything. But I think what's interesting is like looking at like some of the skill tree and whatnot, and some of like, oh, the crimes look super detailed, just like the variety and like the crime like system and how you go about it. New quest available, unsafe driving, suspicious activity, rooftop crime scene. So it seems like there was gonna be like a good sense of variety and crime and like hold on. They go to the pause menu for a second. So the description of the rooftop crime scene: Edgar Zidi's young daughter has been kidnapped by members of an unknown crime syndicate and held for ransom. Zidi, a mob lawyer for the Falcone family, was recently found murdered in his uptown Gotham office. While Gotham PD guards Zidi's home and protects his wife, Batman decides to investigate the murder scene. If Batman doesn't find the girl before the ransom is paid, odds are she'll never be found. So I guess this seems like a side quest. So like I don't know. It's like, what is the unsafe driving like fucking tell? Is that gonna like entail or description? What is that gonna be? Is that gonna send you to like a whole fucking different mission? But there's like his skill tree. There's a combat skill tree, which is, it seems there's 21 skills, stealth 14 skills, gadgets 15, vehicle 12. So I don't know if there's any more footage floating around anywhere, but this is all I could see and really find. So yeah, vehicle though, that's interesting. So are you gonna be able to drive the tumbler in this, like the weird bat plane, beetle thing? Oh, the motorcycle. I feel like the motorcycle is my favorite, like Nolan versus vehicle. I feel like it's super. I really like the way like the wheels like turn or whatever when it's doing that weird shit. I don't know. I don't know. It just looks saucy. Yeah, it's like bat gliding. We don't really see any combat in this, but it seems like there wasn't gonna be like a official like triangle parry. It was gonna be like a blocking, and then like when he hits you, you have to press Y or something, and he parries or something like that. That's what it seemed like to me. And then I don't know if this was gonna be before the Arkhamverse games, or was it gonna be like after? So I'm not sure. I want to say like after, to be honest, but yeah, I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, that's all the what time are we at right now? We're only at 29 minutes, bro, and we got through all the news. Wowza. So yeah, like I said, there is some like more like other pieces of news that like probably just weren't as important to me. So if we have time, well, I'll go back and quickly go through those. But yeah, let's get into the reviews though. The reviews. All right. Anyways, that was annoying. Sorry. I'm gonna start with Monkey Man, and then we're gonna go into Invincible. But with Monkey Man, so we're gonna keep it spoiler free. There's not a whole bunch of spoil, to be honest, except like really like the action scenes. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it spoiler free, and I'll let you know when I get into spoilers. But yeah, Monkey Man. So when going into this, I thought it was just gonna be like Indian John Wick. That's kind of what I was like sold on, and what like was having me going hype with this movie. I'm like, but I feel like it stands on its own two feet and separates itself from John Wick, and it has a little, in my opinion, a little bit more substance. But anyways, just a quick like rundown of the story real quick. It's honestly just a simple revenge story, to be honest. This is directed by Dev Patel. I think it's his directorial debut. He did a phenomenal job, to be honest. And it's written, and the screenplay is written by him and I think a couple other people. It's produced by Jordan Peele. So like the story of this movie basically, Like I said, it's a revenge story, but I meant like the real life side of it. So this was gonna go straight to Netflix, or it was something gonna go straight to streaming. But then Jordan Peele saw it and he liked it so much that like he told him not to do that and get a theatrical debut. So that's where it is right now. And I guess like there was some political like undertones critiquing the Indian government, and so like Netflix might have not wanted to buy it. That's what I seen that floating around. I don't know if that's concrete, but like I said, it's a simple revenge story. This guy, he's a boxer, and I don't he's basically making money like taking dives against this other fighter, and he's just basically he's just duking it out in that ring and just trying to make ends meet, and he just finds a way to enact revenge on some wrongdoings and that ruined his life as a young child, and he's this is the ultimate get back movie. He's D1 crash out. D1 crash out. He's doing whatever he's risking it all. He's risking his bacon to get the revenge. And does he get the revenge? Remains to be seen. Go watch the movie. Anyways, bro, I really, really like this movie a lot, bro. A fucking lot. It has really strong visuals. It has really strong choreography. I feel like and I will compare this to John Wick a little bit. And I did say like stands on its own 2 feet. But I just like as like a baseline, if you don't know what you're getting into, just making that comparison. And I think like comparing this to like the first John Wick movie, this definitely has like a lot more substance. And I think, and putting it on the scale of like all the John Wicks, this is up there with my favorite. I think the best John Wick movie is John Wick 4. I don't think that's like a crazy controversial opinion, but this is up there with John Wick 4 to me. I think like it has maybe even better action, to be honest. And then it also has like the story piece too that puts it up with John Wick 4. And I think it's better in the sense of like John Wick 4 has the build up of the previous 3 movies. This just comes out the gate swinging. So it's like if you don't yeah, honestly, wow. I just came to the realization this might be better than the John Wick movies for me. Cause yeah, it just has the emotional component right out the gate as fucking phenomenal action right out the gate. But then also like I don't want to make it a competition because I feel like this movie wouldn't be what it is without John Wick. Like I feel like it took a lot of inspiration from John Wick and obviously in other action movies as well. But I just feel like this is the sum of a collection of liking a lot of different action movies and making your own thing. And so Dev Patel, like he made this movie because no one was casting him in roles like this, like a John Wick esque role, and that's what he wanted to play. So he just went out and he fucking made his own movie, and he knocked it out of the park in my opinion. But just like this movie is just gonna make me, I'm gonna get into some more stuff, but it's just gonna make me like want to watch like the behind the scenes and the making of this movie, because like here's a couple just like behind the scenes things that I've seen over the course of this movie coming out. Dev Patel has said that he broke his hand, 2 toes, and tore his shoulder, got an eye infection, and turned down many acting opportunities to get this film made. I think he broke his hand like the first day of filming or something, and so he had to get like some metal pens in his hand, and it affected like the stunt work in this, and you could honestly kind of see it, but I feel like it's so well choreographed and whatnot, it doesn't even matter, to be honest. But then also Dev Patel says he had to beg his financer for Monkey Man not to shut them down weeks before filming. Most of their equipment broke, so they had to film on phones and GoPros, as well as glue back together tables that broke for stunts. Oh wow, I didn't know that last part. So like this is like a pure passion project. And hold on. Before I get into like some more stuff with the movies, the budget for this movie is astronomically low, and they made some shake with this budget, bro. It's only 10 mil, bro. It's 10 million. And this movie looks amazing, bro. And they do a lot of stuff in it. And so it's like 10 mil is like kind of really, it's baffling, to be honest. and it looks amazing, like visually, like the camera work. This in the box office, so the box office it had a 10.1, I think 10.2 million weekend, which comparatively to all the stuff coming out, that's kind of low, but like to the budget and whatnot, bro, that's pretty good. And so it's like it made back its budget, and obviously you want to account for marketing, so double the budget. So it needs 20 million to break even, basically. But I think the marketing, that could be up or be down. I feel like in this case it would be a little bit lower than, like, just double. I just didn't see a whole lot of. I've seen ads here and there, but there wasn't a whole big marketing push with this movie. So I don't think that it's necessarily on the higher end, like double its budget. So I feel like it's gonna need a little less to break even, but regardless, it made its movie budget back in one weekend. So that's a really, really good start. And I feel like word of mouth is definitely going to help this movie, because I think it's really having good or strong word of mouth. So like I said, though, this movie, like, it's pretty simple. It's simple on the like story side per se. Like, it's just a simple revenge story, but there's a lot that goes more that goes into it that I really, really enjoyed. I think the action choreography, bro, I can't wait to get to that in spoilers. It just has such good choreographed actions. I'd say, there's some stuff sprinkled in between and whatnot, but I think, like, it has basically two really long action scenes that are really, really good, and that just, like, kind of hold up this movie, and the emotional stuff does too. But I think some cons I had though with this movie is it did take a bit to get going, but once it does get going, it's in full gear. It's sprinting, and it doesn't stop. But it takes like 40 minutes to get there. But then, there's some, and I don't just mean like action wise, but I just mean like really story wise and whatnot. But there's a lot of, actually I did take quite a bit of notes. Hold on, let me get to him. Dev Patel, his just acting in this, I really liked him in The Green Knight, and a lot of people, I think it's fairly like rated. Like, the people who do talk about it seem to like it a lot, but I don't think a lot of people did see it. But he just is a really, really good actor. I gotta find some more stuff he's in, and hopefully this does get him the roles that he does want to do, because he definitely deserves it, for sure, for sure. But like, he just has, like, throughout this whole movie, he just has this wild look in his eyes. Just when he's doing his shit, bro, he just has this crazy look in his eyes, and he just portrays it so well. And he's just like this literally like this monkey man. The way he fights, like his movements, he really sold this performance for sure. Like, you could really tell, like, this shit means something to him, bro. He's putting his life on the line, bro. Literally in fucking real life, bro. He's over here breaking, like, tearing his shoulder, breaking hands, breaking toes and shit. Like, this shit means something to him, and you could really feel that in his performance, and it was really, really enjoyable. This movie has a really good score. Like, in some scenes, it's like almost haunting. Like, damn, this is like the conclusion of the journey. Like, you really got busy, bro. And I feel like it really brings everything together. And I really like how, like, so he starts, like I said, he starts off, this is still spoiler free. He starts off in a like, underground fighting ring, like diving or whatever. But I like how, like, he starts off really semi trained and like unprepared, and he's just really scrappy. I just love how scrappy he is. Like, he's not this like this one man army like John Wick. Like, he's just he gets fucked up, and John Wick does definitely get fucked up. But I feel like this is a lot more lasting in per se. I feel like that could be argued, but he doesn't have like this crazy like super agent training and whatnot, and just headshot everybody. Like, he definitely like earns it, I feel like. There's a lot of fun camera work in this movie. I'll get to more than spoilers, but there's just just a lot of the cinematography is really strong. But even like with the fights too, there's a lot of good camera movement. There's like a lot of good like perspective shots. There's a couple like first person shots that are really fun. There's like this I'll get to in spoilers, but there's some really fun shots. This movie's definitely worth seeing in theaters for sure. So yeah, definitely go support this movie for sure. Let me see. I feel like, so I think another thing that I think kind of affects my rating a little bit is I like the villains that were in it, but I wish in it a little bit more. I don't know. this movie definitely, you could feel the John Wick influences, and you could feel where it's fighting against not trying to be just a John Wick clone. And I feel like that kind of works in detriment of the villains, because I feel like there is something there and real and some flair and shit, but I feel like they kind of shy away from it a little bit per se, and to not feel like, because John Wick is a very stylized universe and whatnot and over the top, and so I kind of feel like they could, I don't know. I just wish we got a little bit more of the villains, because I really did. I did like them. I did like them for the most part. Let me see. Let me see. There is like a couple, not a couple. There was a head scratch moment where I was just like, what? And I'll get to that in spoilers. So bro, the action sequences, bro. They are boxing in Monkey Man, bro. They're boxing, bro. They're boxing. You gotta watch it. Just if you like the John Wick movies, just off that, you should watch this movie. Just off the strength of liking John Wick, and I feel like, gives a little bit more with John Wick, then yeah, you should definitely watch this movie, bro. Yeah, it was outstanding action. I think I just wish it was a bit longer. And I did say it does take a bit to get going, but like the what happens in like the second half of the movie, I wish we spent more time where he was, and I'll get to that in spoilers. But at one point he gets like rescued and like brought into this, like, I guess, like this what am I trying to say, outcast like fold, this group of people, and I just feel like I wish we would have spent a little bit more time there training him up and whatnot. But it still works out. But it just does take a bit to get going, and maybe you could shave some time off of what was happening in the beginning, and give him some more time to in that area. I'm not sure, but yeah, I wish it was a bit longer, and I feel like that's a good problem to have. Like in most cases, like, damn, I just wanted more. Uh. Yeah. Get to that. I'll get back to that in spoilers. Let's see. Yeah, there's like quite a so like in the long action scenes, there's like a lot of a few locations they go through, and so there is like two big action scenes, but there's like I guess a bunch of sub action scenes in it. I guess I guess a long action sequence, and then there's, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, like I said, there's like, I feel like there's John Wick elements, and like they kind of introduce them and then they shy away from them, and then in that sense I like, because I feel like it did show, it did show, like, what am I trying to say? It did show some like underground, like ring, like type of crime ring stuff, but it didn't really expand on it. And maybe that at first that was kind of a negative to me, but then I like kind of let this movie sit in my mind for a bit, and it ended up being a positive, because if they did do that route and really explore those avenues, it would have felt like more John Wick. And I feel like the route that they did go kind of separated the two franchises in a way. And this movie, the first half of this movie does kind of feel like it's separate. It is like kind of like two tones, because I do feel like this first half of this movie does feel like kind of like John Wick esque. Like he's setting up, he's planning, he's preparing, and then kind of like the second half of this movie, he kind of goes on like a spiritual journey type of beat, and like and finds himself, and then gets better in a different way than just getting hella gear, and like hella guns, and grouping up with like multiple different people and whatnot. And it is a little bit of that, but it's a different way, and I really like that a lot. It's like different music too. It's like more like upbeat, like club music type shit. And then like the I feel like the later half is like more like spiritual music. I gotta give it a rewatch. This is definitely a movie I would like to see again in theaters. Let me see. Yeah, I really like how this movie ended too, like the ending confrontation with the main villain. I liked the resolution of all of like his revenge, his revenge lines. I think they really hit each one of them hard, literally and figuratively. Let's see. I think that's really all in non spoilers. Yeah, let's just get to the rating, I guess. If you have not seen Monkey Man and you're kind of on the fence or didn't know about it, go watch Monkey Man. It's yeah, for lack of a better term, if you like the John Wick movies, you'll fucking love Monkey Man. I think it even gives a bit more than John Wick. Before I get to spoilers and the rating, there's a lot of like I said, the with the Netflix and like in critiquing the Indian government and stuff. I feel like if you know more about like India's history and whatnot, you will get a little bit more out of this movie. I feel like it has a lot of strong symbolism relating to that and relating to a lot of I don't know what it was, like communities in India. I don't know. That there's just like a lot of history stuff that like I'm not brushed up on at all. So I'm not a history guy at all. But I feel like if you do know that stuff, you will get a little bit more out of this than some other people. But yeah, let's just get into the rating before we get into spoilers. I'm at like a 8.59, honestly. Um with a rewatch, I could definitely see this being a strong 9. I don't think this will go any lower or higher than these two. But I don't think I'll be honestly with the rewatch. I think I'll be at a 9. I don't think I'll be at a 8.5. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a 9. But there's some things that are what's holding me back from a 10. Hmm. Okay, so I did feel like kind of he was kind of did luck up into his situation and to in the way he to get his revenge, but I feel like it ultimately like worked out. It's a good narrative, but I feel like he kind of just like stumbled upon that type deal. Um, I'll get to that more in spoilers, but yeah, and it takes a bit to get going. Um, yeah, I think that's just I think that's what's holding me back. There's probably some other stuff, but I think that's just the main things holding me back from a 10. But yeah, I'm at a 9 though. I'm at a 9. But yeah, let's get into some spoilers before we get into some Invincible. Let's see. Actually, let me get some water before we get into some spoilers. Yeah, so spoilers for Monkey Man. Let's see. Let me go to my notes. Oh, so yeah, what I said, like the only things to really spoil are the fights. Bro, like every fight in this, bro, is great. I think the weaker fights are the ones like in the ring, like his the underground like fighting ring that he's like diving for or whatever. I feel like those are the weakest fights, but like everything else is top notch. Like I love how gritty all the fights are, and like just how scrappy he is in the fights, and just where I love how it like starts out like as um the typical John Wick esque movie a little bit, or just like the typical hitman formula or whatever, where he's just like going. He meets the guy with all the guns. They even drop John Wick. He meets the guy with all the guns. Like he has not like he's running it, but like he's connected to this underground crime like theft ring where there's a guy like rolling in on a wheelchair and steals a lady's purse that he fucking gets up. That was a funny moment where he gets up and start like sprinting out, and then the purse just exchanges hella hands and ends up to Dave Patel's character Bobby, and so like that's the route that I thought I was gonna take. Like he goes and then he buys the gun and the guy's like a wall full of fucking guns and he just buys a little like 38 or some shit revolver, and then like instead of you even like failing and like going having the bathroom fight with the guy who killed his mom, like that fight in itself, I love just how I keep saying it, just how like scrappy he is in the fight though. I'm just like trying to think of specific moments. I don't know, it's just like super visceral. Like at one point in that fight, some guy like hits his head on like the corner of the toilet. Like that felt like super fucking impactful. And just like how he barely survived that moment. And like you think he's just gonna like gear up, get a better plan, and like come back with more bigger guns, but that's just not the case. Like he gets fucked up. Like that leads into the guy with the axe, like he in the whorehouse, like where he gets into the fight with the guy with the axe, and that was a really fun fight. That fight reminded me of upgrade, with some of the camera movement with the axe and stuff was like kind of following the axe, and like there's one point where he like the bad guy swings the axe and accidentally clips a random like bystander that's running by and like right in the throat, and like kind of the camera like dips with the axe or whatever, and it's a pretty good moment. Um, but at the end of that, getting captured and shit, and like this man fucking fights his way throughout like four guys while being handcuffed and jumps out the back of a police van. Um, and I really like the addition of like the the hidden like community, the outcasts, and it was like the trans warriors and whatnot. And like I wish, so that was like I was saying, I wish we spent more time with them and them building him up and them seeing their, because he said like there were warriors and shit before, and they showed that later when they helped him in the end. But seeing them like train him more on the techniques they taught him and whatnot, because he's a different, when he leaves there, and it does show it well, like he's training and shit, he's getting stronger. But when he leaves there, he's a different fucking beast. Like when he has a rematch with the one guy, the bathroom fight I was just talking about, he fucking toast him. Like obviously the bad guy gets his hits in, but like he's in a different class. Like he's on his ultra instinct shit. Like you can just tell. And like there's one point where they like punch at the same time, they hit each other's fists. Like that was a good moment. But yeah, and like this is all after he like beat fucking 15 guys up. So he's like gassed, bro. But he still gets on his head. So he's just like, he's in a different realm. So I wish we would have just got more of his training and shit. It does show, like I said, it does show it well, but I wish we just got more like technique and shit, and the technique he's learned. Because like I feel like his like fighting style changes too in a way. Like he's just a lot more just swift and suave. And then and going back to like him training with like those the people in the outcast community. But there's like a one point where he's like training to the guy was playing a drums, and he was like hitting a punching bag, and the guy was giving him sequences of like combinations on the punching bag with the drum beat, and I just feel like that was super fun. There's like a Doctor Strange moment in this shit where he like rips open his chest, and there's a lot to like about this movie. I really like back to like the end fight with the rematch with the guy who killed his mom. When they're fighting in the room, there's like a bunch of hanging mirrors, and like it what's it called? Like it's some really interesting shots. Let me see. There's a pretty decent car chase in this. Like that wasn't expected. There's like a lot. They do a lot with 10 mil, bro. That's why I'm like so surprised that this budget was 10 million. Let me see. Oh, at one point he fucking like he's in a fight with two guys in the elevator, and he like stabs one in the neck right with a knife, and then like the guy's like kind of overpowered, like slowly stabs him. He's like trying to get it into the guy's neck, and like he gets it almost in there. It's a super like squirmy like in your chair moment, and like Dev Patel's character Bobby just he uses his teeth to completely push the knives in the guy's neck and like slit his throat with his teeth, and it was just like a visceral moment. I really like that a lot. Let's see. Oh yeah, I really like the end confrontation. Some really strong visuals, like with the confronting the guy with the head of the religion shit. I really like how he like stabbed, got in close with the fucking clogs and like those sandals, and had some secret knives and stabbed him. Like that was really cool. And like how Dev Patel ate that shit, bro, and flipped the script. Like that was super cool. Why does my mic keep? I don't know. Oh, is it the cord? I think it's the cord. It keeps like turning up. Let me see. Yeah, so I was like saying like, he was like, if they would have went with the typical route of him even losing and shit, and then coming back and going and linking up with the guy with the guns and getting bigger guns, and going back and linking up with the underground crime syndicate that was stealing and shit. Like he could have easily made a plan with them and like did the shit, and that's what this movie could have been. But then I would have, it would have felt like the typical like John Wick shit. And I did like how he linked up and had with the trans like outcast, and had like a spiritual journey, and how they awake, like really helped him along his path and shit, and come to terms of what happened to him. But it just feels like he kind of lucked into that. Like they just found him randomly after he lost his first plan, and like he kind of like just got thrusted into some a community that could help him. So it just kind of felt like it was convenient. And if maybe they were intertwined in some way from the start, like maybe that was the community that, like, I don't know, like that was the community he was a part of as a child, and it was that way, and he got like separated with them somehow and like came back, or he walked out on them on his own, like when he got older and he was doing the shit he came to do now. I don't know, something like that. I feel like it would have been better if they were kind of intertwined from the start. um but it kind of just felt like two different like paths. I don't know, it's a hard point to convey, but it kind of felt like they wanted to go the way that they were going at first before they shifted to that, but then they're like, okay, well, this feels like too much like John Wick. I don't know. Maybe I'm just yapping and tripping, but yeah. But then, like, in the sense though of the first part did feel like a long-winded way to just come back and just walk through the front door. Like, he made this plan, like he fucking went undercover to work under them and to rise to the ranks and get close to the guy. Like, he did all that, and like when that like just didn't work, he just kind of linked with these other people and just went through the front door. But then I like how, like, I don't know, it just felt like he couldn't do it alone. Like, he's not a one-man army. He couldn't do it alone. He tried to do it alone, and like he had to get help. Like, he could, because at the one point he takes money from like their place of like worship or something, like of the outcasts, like because they worship a god that's like half female and half male. And they make I really like the speeches they give to him. Like, he was like, a lot of people don't understand this god, but like we do, and like because they're trans and stuff. And I feel like that was a good moment. But at one point he like takes money from them and like steals like their offerings money, and bets on himself because he's a way better fighter now, and like on the other underground ring that he's fighting in, and wins hella money. And he could have easily took that money, and this would have been definitely not in his character. But you know even if it wasn't money from them, they could have easily had him like bet on himself and win hella money, get that, use the winnings, get hella guns, like, and made a plan and did it that way. But I don't know, I feel like there's something I just wish it would have meshed better, I guess, because I like that, like, it did introduce like the typical John Wick route, and then it kind of like subverted that and went like this spiritual, like, awakening route. But I feel like it could have been intertwined a little bit better. Um, let's see. I think that's really all I have to say with this movie. To be honest, the action is just like really great. I just really want to honestly just watch all the action scenes over again. Um, yeah, but that's pretty much it I have to say about this movie. So let's move on to some Invincible. Okay, so Invincible season 2. We're gonna just do all spoilers. No spoilers for the comics. No comic spoilers, not at all. If I do dip into some comic spoilers, I haven't read it, but I know some things. I'll let it be clearly known, but probably not. But yeah, all spoilers for season 1 and season 2 of Invincible. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? Go watch Invincible if you like superhero stuff and whatnot. And of course, it might not be your cup of tea, but anyways, go check it out. Invincible's fire. Let's get into it. Oh man, bro, I am so fucking locked in with Invincible. The story of Invincible, bro, it's just like a crazy journey. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it's just like the way it develops, bro. The way this story. Okay, let's back it up. Let's back it up a little bit. Season 2. Bro, I just love the. Actually, let me go to my Invincible notes because I was taking the notes. So I was rewatching season 2. I thought I was gonna have enough time to rewatch season 2 and catch up with the finale. I mean, I did watch the finale, but like binge it because they did fucking take a long break. So I just wanted to binge the whole season, but I didn't get through all of it. But I just love season 2, like the Mark and Debbie's relationship, bro. Just how they console each other, how they're just there for each other, and how they're just both broken in different ways from what Omni-Man did to them in their lives. And like how they, Debbie's trying to be like a good mom and be there for Mark, but like, she can't be there for Mark until she, works on the stuff from herself, like, the stuff that she went through. And I just really like and comparatively to other superhero stuff, I just really love how like feelings last and events last and like trauma like sticks. And that's kind of like, and the broader thing of like stories and like other media and stories, it's like, duh, oh my god, like fucking characters are dealing with lasting trauma. But I feel like for superhero stuff, it's very easy for like, them to experience something super traumatic and whatnot, or some crazy shit, and the next like season or arc of the story is kind of like it's over. Like they don't really it's not like the trauma that these characters are carrying with them in Invincible. Like you can clearly see that in their actions, you can clearly see that in their like their appearance, their you could the trauma manifests in some way. And a lot of other superhero stuff, it just kind of like it's whatever, or it's like if it is something, they'll just bring it up for like one specific like callback or reference. Oh, yeah, I remember I went through that, or da da da. Maybe be sad for a panel or a page or two, and then it's like right back to the scheduled program. It's like I really love Invincible for the fact that like the trauma is lasting. Like they are going through some shit, bro, and they carry it with them. I think yeah, the whole like season, this whole season, like theme of this season is Mark trying to run away and not be like his dad. And like, oh my gosh, that narrative of where everything starts and how the season starts and how he's fighting so hard against that. And there's multiple seasons. Like one of my favorite parts of the season where he like fights this like one villain or sidekick of a dead hero or something like that. And he like traps Mark in this like place of like darkness or whatever. And this Mark just taps into like his straight like ruthless side. He's like, oh, I think it's like it's like a sidekick of a hero turned bad. Like the sidekick turned bad. And so it's like he's like, oh, you're like Omni-Man or something or da da da. He's like, you have no idea. I can be like, he just taps into this dark side type moment. And it's just like really fun seeing him play with that and play with like him running away from that and just really figuring out what he is without his dad in a way. I don't know. It's just like, and just like what the emptiness of the void that his dad like left in his life doing what he did. And it's just like seeing all the characters like deal with that in different ways, seeing how Cecil has to deal with that and like gearing up the Guardians, seeing how broken Debbie is from that, going to therapy and getting shut out from like her therapy, and like after them figuring out Nolan and Omni-Man and whatnot. It just like in every way, just like the effect that it takes on people. It's just so there's like it's just like a realness to it, and especially like with some of like the relationships and stuff. I don't know, bro. It's just this show, bro. The story is so captivating, and that's why it's like the wait, the break in between it sucks, but it's just like, bro, I'm locked in with this story, bro. Like it doesn't matter, honestly. Like I'm just so locked in. Let me see. I really like let's see, let's jump around to some characters. I really like how I really like his motivations in this and how he starts out. I feel like he starts out like just there's just I really like this story because there's just so much nuance to the characters. Like Levi starts out as a Levi Armstrong, like the main the I guess not main villain, but he quote unquote main villain. How he just starts off just wanting knowledge how to fix the world, how to fix the multiverse, benefit it, and make it like better in every way. And like he's just gathering multiple versions of himself, and just trying to combine all that knowledge to make everything better. And just how he doesn't want to kill, he doesn't want to harm, but he in trying to he relies on the Mauler brothers to help him with this goal of getting all this knowledge, and he relies on them a little bit too much. Invincible comes and try to fucks up his plans. Because Invincible really doesn't know what's going on. He's just like, whoa, like what's happening here? Just sees the Mauler brothers, and he just gets busy. And so with trying to save Mark's life from them getting killed by the Maulers, he basically kills himself, and all the other versions of him that were hooked to this machine to give him knowledge basically just die. And there's one left, and there's the one that's left is from a universe that was shown in the first episode of this season 2. That in most universes, Mark teams up with Omni Man to take over the world and the universe and whatnot. And so he's from one of those universes, but even still, he has the combined memories of like hundreds of other versions of himself, all bleeding into like one mind. And in most of the realities, Invincible's evil, so he's trying to stop Invincible because he's fucking delusional. And it's like, it's funny because he picks the one universe that Mark isn't evil in, and like he makes him basically a killer. Like he's the reason Mark kills or takes his first life. I just love like the like that Levi didn't necessarily start evil. It's just nuance to it, bro. And then just the way that like when he's like captures Debbie, when he breaks, he just, oh my god, he needs to go, bro. When he broke Debbie's arm, I was like, yeah, Mark needs to knock Buddy off. But when Mark finally does it though, and loses control, and just like the callback to like his father, and just how this show is gonna be so fucking crazy to binge, bro. And that's probably how the comic is. Like, it's so crazy just to read all the way through. And just like the what his dad says to him is like, oh, you're gonna be like me, and like he doesn't fucking know he's a goddamn alien dictator trying to take over the worlds. But it's like just the whole thematic, like the theme of the show, just running away from his dad and just like really ending up like being like him, and not even ending up being like him, but just Mark feeling like he's being like him and just snapping and just, oh my, bro, it's just it's hard to put into words, bro, how much like this hit me, bro, and like how much I like this story. It's just, bro, when it's all said and done, I know Invincible, and I know the story's already over, but like when it's all said and done with the show, this is definitely going to be one of my favorite shows and just one of my favorite narratives of all time. And it's really, really hard not to go and read the comic and just experience it that way. But just like the voice acting, like Steven Yeun as Mark, oh my gosh, like who's hold on, Mahershala Ali's in the show? What the fuck? I think it's Sterling K. Brown. Yeah, it's Sterling K. Brown who plays Levi. He does a really good job. But it's just like the stuff in this show, like the music, the voice acting, the animation is like what is like, obviously the story, but it's just like those components along with the story is what's making me really, really fucking love this narrative. And like I know that I will like the comics, but it's just like, bro, I gotta experience the story and just keep experiencing it through the show first. Right, that's how I don't think, like with Attack on Titan, they took hella long, bro, and I just ended up breaking and reading the manga. I don't think it's gonna be the same with Invincible. I think I'm gonna hold out. With the animation, I don't think the animation's like crazy. The best animation that Invincible has had was with Adam Eve, the Adam Eve special. So I don't know if they're like, I'll get to that though. Like just seeing Evil Mark though, and back to like episode 1 of the season, or even the episode 8, he fucking kills Levi's kid. That was a crazy moment. No, not gonna lie. It's just hearing Mark's just nonchalantness and saying just evil, ruthless shit, like, oh, I'm gonna kill the kid quick and shit. That's so crazy hearing that come from an Invincible, and just it's so eerie. And I hope, and I hope we get to see more evil Invincibles and whatnot, and see more evil Mark Graysons and spend more time with them. Like him just fucking crushing the Immortal's head, like that was crazy. I just love the universe of Invincible. Just like it's I feel like it does a lot of, it takes what's so familiar, and it does cool things with them. Like for instance, the Ant-Man shrinking stuff with the girl, where she's like gets eaten by that one guy. She tries to shrink and explode his body from the inside out. I feel like, yeah, that would have been crazy to see, and that would have been the expected thing. But then him like crushing her body, and she survived that somehow. But him crushing her body while he's inside of her, and while she's inside of him, and like, oh my, like that is like, they just, I don't know, they just are really good at like subverting expectations with the superhero genre, and like doing things that feel new. And it's crazy because this comic came out like hella long ago, like 10 plus years ago, and they were and See, what's really cool about the story of Invincible is they were subverting expectations back then with the story they're telling, and they're doing it now with like the critiques and the shit they're adding to the comics and to the narrative, and making the narrative comic narrative like stronger in some ways. And still, I feel like, oh my, it's crazy what they're doing. um I feel like Debbie's like emotional plot is like just damn near as good as like Mark's shit that he's going through, in my opinion. Just like seeing her just like grapple, like fucking raising the son of the man you spent 20 years with, that said you were a fucking pet, and dealing with that, like, bro, she just has it terrible. And I just think it's like super intriguing, like, like up there with like Mark stuff and whatnot, the same stuff with like with the Viltrumite and shit, in my opinion. And then fucking Omni-Man saying I miss my wife at the end, like him, like that's Omni-Man's like journeys. Just see, it's like, I really like this because like I do know some spoiler stuff, but I don't know how Invincible ends. I don't know what the end game is. I don't know what characters are alive by the end. I don't know what state they're in by the end of it. Like if they are alive, like are they fucking missing arms, legs, or whatever the case. Like I saw, like, in that being said, I don't know where Omni-Man's story ends, but it's just like, if he dies, bro, that's gonna hurt. But it's just like, it's his journey, bro. Just everyone has fucking great journeys in this show, bro. All the, for the most part, bro, all the like character story arcs are fucking great. Like Amber, like, there's some people are so weird about Amber, but she's such a like, she is the character that I feel like is the most like realistic character. Like she tries to be understanding, she tries to be there for Mark with his problems, but like she says, like she doesn't matter when she stands next to Mark, like, you know, and she like makes really solid points, like that's the way it should be. Like he's out here saving the world and shit, but she's like, she deserves to matter. And like, she's feeling guilty if she does, like, her minuscule problems, take Mark away from saving the world or some shit. It's just like, and not even saying they're minuscule, but it's just like, I mean, they are in like the grand scheme of things. Yeah, of course, like fucking saving the world, but like they still matter though, And it's just like they can't matter when she's with Mark, and like that is just like some real shit. And like when Anissa comes and like threatens, like almost kills Amber, how she just can't take it, and like, you just expect, I don't know, I feel like people just expect like superhero spouses, or who's ever dating the superhero or whatever, just to be super understanding, but they are real people. And I like, and there's ways to mishandle this, but I really like when they handle it well, when they show like the toll it takes on them, and they show like how understanding they try to be, and like, and they do it in a convincing way. Because if you don't, it kind of just, it could easily feel like it comes off as a just like kind of like, for lack of a better term, like bitchy and just like ungrateful. But it's just like, it's not that, bro. It's just like they're people as well. But it's just like you're just so wrapped up in the superhero narrative and shit. And it's just like, it's easy to overlook that, But I really like how they're highlighting it really well, with Amber and whatnot. Let's see. Bro, I'm just like kind of going through the characters at this point. Bro, I love Cecil. And I know he's a fucking scumbag. And I don't know if he's going to do some crazy dirty shit down the line. But I love when seeing Cecil quote unquote care. Like, and I put the quote unquote care because I feel like it's all in his greater benefit, like to care about Mark and Debbie and whatnot, and try to have a relationship with now probably the strongest person on the planet, and that could has the most chance of helping you guys fight against the Viltrumites. But it's just really cool. I just really enjoyable to see his talks with like Donald and whatnot, and like, having coming, Donald coming. I really like that subplot too, of Donald coming to terms of being like a fucking robot and whatnot. But like, Cecil talking with Mark at the end of the season, trying to convince him that he's not his dad, and just like throughout the season where he's just telling him to, take a break, like, bro, you're not ready, like, or just trying to be there for Debbie and Mark in the ways that he can. And it's very easily, you could see that he's just in it for himself, but there's just, I feel like, sparks a moment to show that he cares. But I just hope that he doesn't do some crazy scummy shit. But I really fuck with Cecil for the most part for now. And Walter Goggins as him is really great. All the fucking voice acting in this show is great. I think I really like the title card too. I think I wonder what season 3 is gonna be, because like you get the blood in season 1, you get this hinting to his black suit for season 3, his blue and black suit. So I wonder what season 3 is gonna be. That's gonna be interesting. Let's see. Oh, some notes I took from episode 8. I just put fly up, dumbass. I think this is when he was talking to the dinosaurs in the other dimension. They were just talking about eating him and shit. And like, while they're having the fucking conversation, bro, just fly like 20 feet up in the air, bro. I don't know. He could have did that a couple times too, bro. Let's see. I really love, like, when Mark finally kills Levi and he's just saying, like, making excuses from himself, like, oh, you know, he told me he was like bio engineer. I don't know. Fucking, he was told me he was enhanced and whatnot, and just I don't know. He just, bro, just I just love the inner the self monologue to themselves, and just like his emotions, like that he's dealing with, and how in that moment he's talking to himself. He's just going through it, bro, and it's just so great voice acting, great dialogue. And then, like, later after he like finally like leaves that dimension where he's just like flying through, and he has that moment of just like fucking screaming to himself and whatnot, and is really reminiscent of the first, episode 8 is reminiscent of the last episode. Oh yeah, when he's flying around, he's like having flashbacks of the first season and whatnot that just really really hit hard and really bring, I think, the whole thematic narrative of season 2 to a head, and like really like pulls from season 1. I feel like season 2 and season 1 is just kind of like one. Maybe that's how it is in the comics though, just like one arc. I just feel like it really brought this one arc fully together. And I think this season doesn't really have a lot of crazy action, but I think what really for me, and that could be a problem for people who aren't as invested into the story, but I feel like for me, like the themes and stuff, and like what marks a journey and character journey and the character journeys of other characters, character journeys of other characters of is what just like saved from like the and there is some great action, don't get me wrong, but just I don't know, I just feel like there's not no crazy like standout like Adam Eve special moments like that. So I just feel like that really really not even saved the season for me, but it just like that was the main source of nutrients, my main what I came to digest every week is like the narrative, purely Mark's journey and whatnot, and other characters' journey. I just say that because like a lot of people, and that I feel like that is a valid criticism though, because I feel like the animation I feel like I gotta rewatch definitely, but maybe just not as good as fights, and like not even in season 1. I feel like the fight with Battle Beast and Mark was really really well. And I don't even mean like choreography wise, but I don't even think there's like really anything on that level. Could be wrong. The Viltrumite, on Thraxon or whatever the planet's called, that's a pretty good fight. But yeah, I hope they step it up for season 3, because like Adam Eve was on a different level, bro. The choreography, bro, what they were doing with the powers and whatnot, that was fucking great, bro, in every aspect. So I just really hope that maybe I'll get to some stuff with Robert Kirkman, the interview and the break with season 2 and whatnot. But yeah, I do feel like the Levi stuff felt like a bit disconnected. Like I don't think he was sprinkled in quite enough throughout the season. I feel like we took a little bit too many breaks from him, but I feel like he was just there mainly to like thematically to like get Mark to break and be like his dad. And I feel like that was his ultimate goal, and he fucking accomplished it. And not like his goal like himself, but like overall, like for his goal for his role for the story. I think that he was used well in that sense, but I feel like we could have got a bit more of him to not feel so disconnected from everything, because it kind of feels like when he shows up at the end, he just like kind of shows up, let me see. Well, at one point in episode 8, like Mark was going so fast, he was like making sparks and shit like fly from him, and he was like, it was some crazy like visual stuff. I thought that buddy was like gonna fucking tap into the Speed Force or something. But yeah, so let me see the Guardians. I really like see, it's just there's so much to love about this universe. Like the Guardians, like they're quote unquote Justice League or Avengers. Like they're just not like the cracked fucking best team. Like they get fucked up. Like that is an understatement. And so I just like how they have to evolve and get better and whatnot. Like that's a cool subplot. With like Robot and Rudy and Monster Girl and stuff. Like I feel like all that stuff is fun or interesting and whatnot. Let's see. I feel like it's like this specific Invincible, like in the multiverse, has just the worst fucking life imaginable. Like the one that actually stands up and goes against his dad and does the right thing, he's just fucking forever punished from it. Like his family's getting fucked up. Like it's just all bad. It's just all because he didn't join his dad. And I really hope, and I think I'm not gonna spoil any arcs or any arcs name future arcs in the comics, but I really hope we do spend more time with more evil versions of Mark and just see what, not even just like see what their personalities are, but like what their in a way what their universes are like since they did take over. Like are they, I don't know, like are they doing good, like in a sense, like to their standards? Like are they okay with their decision? Like how do they feel? Like really getting into their mindsets, let me see. Okay, so I think that's really like all the notes I have and like all I have to say. Like there's a couple other things, and so let's get into this like animation stuff. So yeah, like some points on Twitter was like there's no point in season 2 that like does any of the stuff that like the Adam Eve show does, which I do agree with. Let's see, like just so dynamic, like the camera work, the quote unquote camera work, but like this highway fight with Adam Eve show, like the way she's using her powers, the way the villains are using their powers, the destruction, like it just, yeah, I don't think there's anything in season 2 that's anything like that. Let's see. It's like, I don't know, bro. Just give them time to cook. Like if they need time to cook to make something like, and I'm not expecting every fight scene, every fucking little scene to be as great as the Adam Eve shit, but it's just like, bro, there's at least should be something like that on that level at least once per season, in my opinion. Oh, and then like this Twitter user, they talk about the lighting. So the when what's it called? When Nolan says that he misses his wife in the comics, it's like this, like the shadows are, and obviously this is like drawn artwork, but like the shadows are great, like the background, like he's against like a bunch of fucking stars and shit. It's just really great lighting, but in the show it's just kind of like super flat. And I feel like there's other multiple moments, but in the show I really like how it's like portrayed. It's just like he's like looking around like confused, and he's just like, I think I miss my wife. It's like he just came, I don't know, it like works in the show, but it could have better lighting. And I say that because in season 2, but episode 1, when Omni-Man is like, when they're all having like going through it, or is it episode 2? But Omni-Man, after he beat the shit out of Mark, he's like flying around in the galaxy or whatever, and he's just he ends up at a black hole and he's about to get sucked in. But like the lighting of that and like the shadows it casts on his face and whatnot are really, really good. I just feel like there could have been more like that, because bro, and this is like comparing maybe apples to like whatever, but maybe this is not a fair comparison, but just like but example, I guess. In Cyberpunk Edge Runners, just like the lighting and like the shadows and the neon colors and the shit that like it casts on the characters' faces and whatnot, it just sets a different mood. I just feel like it could have been, what this Twitter user said, could have been more dynamic, But it's like at the end of the day, it's not like nothing like crazy, like oh my god, it ruins the show or anything. But yeah, the last thing though, I think that's really everything I have to say. I just really love fucking Invincible. I love Invincible. But yeah, there's an interview that Robert Kirkman did, the creator of Invincible, did like I think on the debut of the episode. There's some interesting questions that I'll get into. Let's start with these are some the prompt of the question. Let's start with all those multiversal cameos. How did you get Josh Keaton to back to voice this alternate Spider-Man? Basically, he says like Dan Duncan, who worked with Josh Keaton on Spectacular Spider-Man, suggested him, and they were trying to find someone who played Spider-Man before, and Robert Kirkman was like, "Oh yeah, I bet like that makes sense, animation to animation." Yeah. And then he also goes like to say like throughout the article, is that they were Amazon was pretty strict on what colors they could use and like the design and whatnot. It was a lot of eyes on this because they were just trying to avoid legal stuff because apparently he didn't reach out to Marvel with this. They just kind of did it, and so it was the Amazon's like legal job to like make sure that they didn't have to contact Marvel. And so that's why we got Agent Spider. I didn't even mention like that in the when I was talking about it, but we got Agent Spider and a Spider-Man and a Batman reference cameos. Batman's like kind of you just see his cape, and then Spider-Man. There's Agent Spider instead of Spider-Man because they meet in the comics, but they couldn't officially do it, which I thought they were going to be able to because Amazon is working with Sony to do some Spider-Man stuff, so I thought there was going to be a connection there. But I like the cameo still. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me. It's like I'm not fucking here to see Spider-Man, which would have been cool, but I mean, we got fucking the voice actor for Spider-Man and got a carbon fucking lookalike. There's literally a version of Doctor Octopus, so it's just like I don't know. It works for me. I mean, because I just see some people that were like genuinely upset on Twitter and shit. So it's like I don't know, bro. Are we here watching the Invincible show? Or are we here for fucking Spider Man? But yeah, I mean, you could be upset. Who fucking cares? Let's see. Because he talks about the. Oh yeah, so there at one point, during his fight with Levi Armstrong, Armstrong, I don't know. He goes to he fucking pulled out a Fortnite gun and hits Levi with it, and apparently he got sent to the Fortnite realm. And while he got sent there, there's like a Fortnite collab with Invincible, and I guess like there's quite a few of the collabs they do, especially with the comic stuff. There's like tie-in comics with it, so it's like kind of quote unquote canon. And so they're saying that like when Mark went to the Fortnite universe and came out and hit him with Levi with the gun, like he actually the Fortnite events were canon. Like he fucking went through like a battle royale game or whatever. So that's pretty funny. He talks about Oliver aging up quickly. He says Conquest and Thrag. So I guess there are two big Viltrumite characters that are coming, and I guess one of them has been cast already. Let's see. He says that like Viltrumites are gonna be like the antagonists as a whole, but there will be other sub villains like Levi sprinkled in. Let me see. He talks about the break. I'm gonna get to that. So basically, he says that like it was for production, but like I don't know. I feel like they said that season 2 was already done, so I don't know what the official reason on why they did take a break. Like I want to say that it's because scheduling stuff like with Amazon, and they didn't want to like have a lapse in their programming or whatnot. So it's just I don't know. I just really hope it doesn't. It's not like that for season 3. Like, bro, just if you need a fucking another year to get out, and of course it's not up to the artists and shit, and it's probably like contracts and whatnot. But it's like, bro, just give them the extra year and just like I feel like because discussion wise, I feel like it really killed the momentum for Invincible. I think a lot of people still like talked about it and whatnot and enjoyed it, but it's just like, bro, you're just hurting your show doing this. So I don't know, just give them that extra time to fucking put out the whole show at not like at once, but like a full fucking like there should not be a break between for an 8-episode season. I understand it's animation. I understand animation takes more time, but it's just like there's no way that should be the case, bro. 8 episodes, like you're taking a break after 4 fucking episodes. Like what? And it's not even a short like maybe 2 weeks break. It was like fucking months, bro. It was like come on, bro. Like I don't know. Just bro, let them cook. Give them the extra time to cook, man. Yeah, I'm excited to just watch this. Watch these first 2 seasons. Since I didn't get through the whole second season to like binge watch, up to the finale. I think I'm just gonna restart and just start at the first episode. I've been trying to get my girl to watch it, bro. She's watching X-Men, so I don't know. She's just I mean, I'm not like anything bad, but it's just like, bro, I'm trying to put you on to peak, bro. I'm trying to put you on to some game. I'm trying to put you on to some gas. It's like, bro, just listen to me. Watch Invincible. I know you like it. Like, come on, bro. But yeah, I think I'll restart from season 1 just to binge watch the whole thing. That's to binge watch the whole thing. That's gonna be a good watch. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Invincible. Let me see if there's any other things. I guess one last critique. I feel like Invincible does jump around a bit, like kind of plot wise. Like it just cuts to a random plot. I know in episode 8 there was like fucking with Immortal and Kate, it just like cut to like a funny moment with like the mummy and like the that shit. And if you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. And it felt like it was just a weird cut and tone, but then it ended up like being like Mark flew over it, and that like led into him and his like flashback was like Omni Man and whatnot, and to another hard hitting emotional scene. But it's just like kind of like in that those kind of like an example of just like it cuts to some shit, and it did end up it just it ends up like relating, but like in the start it just like it's a random. It's kind of hard to explain, but I don't know. It's not like the biggest deal because it does ultimately come together in a way that's satisfying, but it's just like random like cuts and whatnot between the plots. Yeah, I think that's the last thing, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, it's not over, but I would rate this season of Invincible. I gotta re binge it, but shit, I'm at like a niner, bro. I don't know. Honestly, I like as a whole, bro. I'm the whole series is a 10 to me so far. Like the first two seasons is that's a tenner to me. But yeah, let's move on though. Get on to the weekly watch list so we can wrap this thing on up. Um, Last week, so I was talking about Skrilla. He's a rapper, and I said some real degenerate shit, and it is. But he has actually a little bit more nuance to him. I was like, oh, I got to check out more music, and I did check out more music, and he's like, he brings up like some Nigerian gods in his songs, and which I thought was different. Like I don't like O Sun and what is it? Actually, one of my playlists. But yeah, I was just like, that's different because like one of them is like the god of like iron, and like he basically like brings some like praise to him because O Gun and O Sun, and so because fucking metal guns, iron. But yeah, but like also he has like a pretty good voice though. Like he is on some like straight like pill pop and drug shit, but like he has a pretty good voice. Like there's some other songs that are more like I feel like this is he's finding his sound now, but there's sound now, but he was just kind of experimenting more back in his older songs. But yeah. Yeah, I don't like a lot of his ton of his older music, but that was just something interesting. He had a little bit more depth to him than I wasn't really expecting. I watched The Accountant. It's a Ben Affleck movie. This man plays a fucking like autistic person, and that's like an assassin and an accountant hitman. Yeah. I don't know if that's fucking controversial now. Yeah. Who cares? But it's pretty interesting. I liked it for the most part. It was all right. Oh yeah, I was talking about X-Men. I don't know if I'll review this though. I'm liking it for show, but I feel like it's a little. Maybe I'll just like do a mini review like on the weekly watch list or something like that. But like I feel like the plot is tied very very, and I expected this. But I expected this, but then also like the first two episodes, I feel like were pretty welcoming to newcomers. But I feel like it's very plot tied to the first series, which is not a problem at all. It's just I didn't watch the first series, so I'm a little like lost in the sauce. And it does a good job like introducing what's going on like to the new viewers. But I don't know. It was just like a lot of yapping with that. I don't know if I'm gonna review it or not. Maybe, but I'll talk about it in some capacity. But I don't know if I'll like just commit like a whole main topic to it, or a whole episode to it. And then also I watched Glass, so I don't know why it took me. I do know why it took me a while to watch this. So it's a sequel to Split, and this is like M Night Shyamalan, and like if you don't know what Split is, go check that out. It's actually a really good movie. It's with James McAvoy, and he has like 23 personalities, and like each personality like affects him like physically. Like he can have diabetes with one personality and has to take like insulin and whatnot. But then another personality cannot have doesn't have diabetes and he doesn't need to take insulin or like glasses or whatever the case. It's a really good movie. Actually, it's one of the first movies I saw Anya Taylor-Joy in, because when I seen her in Glass, I was like, wait, oh, she is a girl in Split. But there's like this 24th personality, the Beast, and which is pretty interesting. And so yeah, Split's good. Glass, not so much. So, like I said, it's M. Night Shyamalan, and he's like, it has to do with a movie Unbreakable, where Bruce Willis is in that, and it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, but like apparently has like some clairvoyance, like he could detect crime or some shit. and he's like really strong, but his weakness is water. And there's this guy named Mr. Glass, played by Samuel L. Jackson, who's hella smart, but his bones are like glass. Um, but yeah, at the end of Split, it ended up being connected to that universe, like on some MCU post credits Avengers type shit. Um, but yeah, it's that movie is ridiculous, bro. It's so roundabout. Like it could have been solved in like the main like villains like plan could have been solved in like 30 seconds, bro. No cap. Yeah. So that was pretty buns. I think let me see. Think of any. Oh, I didn't even fucking mention. I'm glad I caught this because it's not on my notes either. Oh, we do have a bit more time, so maybe I'll go through the. We're at 1:45. It's no pressing news, but real quick. Along with the Fantastic Four Johnny Storm artwork that I mentioned that came out, official artwork, there's like some comics or some things like linked to it. And so there's a couple Fantastic Four stories, and one of them was Life Story. Hold on, I think I might have the comic. Hold up. But yeah, it's they released a couple like comics to read and like I guess get prepared for the new Fantastic Four movie. And I'm glad they did this because I mentioned before like DC or James Gunn in like the new DCU. DCU has been doing a good job at highlighting what comics like they're being inspired by for the stories that they're adapting, and like it's been doing really because comics book sales are I don't know what they're looking like now, but they're down from what they were, and even compared to like manga and shit, other like comic book esque stuff. But they're just really down. But James Gunn's been doing a good job at highlighting what stories like they're adapting from, and has been doing really well to get those more eyes on comic books in general, and just get every time he like mentions a comic, they get sold out. And so Marvel released, a couple comics to read for with the Fantastic Four, and one of them was Life Story, Fantastic Four Life Story, and so I checked that out, and basically it's just the heroes aging in real time as from when they were created. So if the creator was a character was created in the 60s, like 1960, like the Fantastic Four, that's when they formed, and by the 2000s they age 40 years, basically. And so it just goes through each era. It goes through the 60s, 70s, 80s, the 2000s, and the 10s, I believe. And so yeah, it's a really 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 good story. Not like really not like spoiling or anything, but like it has to do with like Galactus coming and them dealing with that throughout like basically that whole all those years preparing for that. And it's just a really really fun, not even fucking fun, it's kind of depressing, but it's a really really interesting narrative that I really enjoyed. And so I read that, and I'll probably go check out the other comics that they listed. I don't have it in front of me which other ones they did, but I would definitely check out Fantastic Four Life Story. And some really really fucking great artwork, and some really great artwork of Galactus. They make him pretty horrifying in that, and it's really great to see Galactus in that light. And if that's the route they're going for in the movie, I'm on board. But yeah, that was a really good comic. And then also Spider-Man has a life story where it's the same premise where he's aging, throughout the years. And I'm not liking it as much. I feel like the Fantastic Four one was a lot better. Like had a better through line narrative. Maybe I just need to keep reading the Spider-Man one, but I feel like it kind of I don't know. I don't. It feels like a big what if, and that's what like it is essentially. But like I feel like maybe because I know less about the Fantastic Four's lore, that like I'm more unaware of the changes and like the way that shit's supposed to go. And so I don't know. So maybe that's why it flowed more with me more, and I know more about Spider-Man's like origin and his relationships and whatnot and what's supposed to be. So it kind of just I don't know. It's just not as hitting as hard as the Fantastic Four one. But yeah, I'm reading through that, and actually I really want to get back to that because after I do finish that, so life story for Fantastic Four, I think for both of them actually they're only like 6 issues, but they're 33 pages, which is like a little bit more than usual. I feel like a standard issues with like 23, 25 pages, but but after I finish that, I don't know what I want to do. I think actually, let me go to my comics stuff. Let me see. Where I'm trying to go. Oh, I'm either gonna start. I was reading it, and I dropped it. This was like when I was first like diving deep into comics, but I was reading the Immortal Hulk, which I was really liking a lot. So I might jump back into that, or I might tap in with some Unworthy Thor. I think I was listening to old Weekly Planet episode, and they mentioned this. It was like, yeah, this is from 2007 2016 to 2017. So I might check that out. And I was reading, I need to finish like Nova and the Iron Face, the Living Weapon, and yeah, I think those are like, there's some other stuff I gotta get back to, but yeah, after Spider-Man Life Story, I think I'm gonna tap in. Yeah, I'm on the issue 2 of Spider-Man Life Story, so I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna finish it, but I'm not gonna write it off completely yet. But I'm definitely not as liking it as much as um Fantastic Four Life Story. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it on the weekly watch list side of things. Let's see. As we move on to Pondering My Orb, which is just me reflecting, getting ready for the week. Trying to just get my mindset right and really just tackle the week really strong. And then another week to get better and whatnot. And during my reflection, maybe it helps you reflect on you and things you want to work on, or maybe you grab a nugget of knowledge that applies to you and that you can apply to your life. But yeah, well, basically, I just like doing this part of the show because we do talk a lot of entertainment and shit that really doesn't matter in the real world, that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. But you know, that was super super cynical, but it's like, I mean, that's like the reality of it. Like, this is all just entertainment and whatnot. Like, if this shit stopped being made, all this like Marvel DC shit, like the world's not gonna stop spinning. We'll just move on to find new hobbies or whatever. But anyways, that was super like cynical or whatever. But I didn't really specifically put anything down for this week. But it's just like, honestly, it's really, and like, it's honestly, one thing I want to work on this week is just mindset, bro. It's just like, you can't, and like I say, like I've said previous weeks, you're gonna hear repeated points. You're gonna hear me talk about some shit like, "Oh, I was doing good with this shit. I'm doing with it, doing good with that." And I'll come back a couple weeks later and like, "Okay, I want to work on this again." Like, it's, bro. Life is a constant like journey. You're constantly learning. You're constantly like, improving yourself, sliding back, and like, building yourself, bro. You're not gonna start out where you finish. That was kind of maybe that meant a little nothing. I just came off my dome, but yeah, it's just mindset. It's like, I know what I gotta do, but it's just like, bro, my mindset's not right to like execute that. Like, so it's just like really getting to the right mindset to like get your stuff done. So that's my thing this week. Just the right mindset. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Like I said, next week is gonna be Civil War by Alex Garland. So yeah, if you want to be tapped in with the what we're reviewing next week is Civil War, so go get your tickets for that, or Sail the Seven Seas, whatever the case. Yeah, but that's what we'll be getting to next week. And I think the week after, I think, is a break for reviews. Maybe the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna see the Challengers as well this month with my girl, but I don't know if that's something I want to review. I don't know yet, so we'll see. But yeah, next week's for sure is Civil War. So yeah. Oh yeah, follow me on Twitter at DS2Smooth, and then follow this what are we doing? Oh, What Did I Miss podcast. Follow the What Did I Miss podcast Twitter at the link will be below. The link is or the at is DS2 Smooth YT, but because it was for my YouTube channel, I still need to change the ad on that, but go follow that on Twitter if you want to, I'll be putting out like, what'd you think of Civil War or whatever, and you could write in or whatever the case. I'm probably start a hashtag, get that going for the show if people want to write. And on some, Weekly Planet shit, just build a community with this, and like try to get some more followers on there and whatnot. But and then follow me on TikTok and follow me on TikTok, where I post like clips of this show but edited. So maybe some funny clips and whatnot. Follow me on TikTok or follow my Instagram. All at What Did I Miss podcast. Follow my main YouTube channel at DS2Smooth. I'm working on some stuff over there. It's just taking some time. Really, again, it's a mindset thing, bro. really got to lock in and get editing on that stuff because I have some really really good ideas, but it's just getting in the right mindset to lock in and execute those ideas. So yeah, there'll be some more stuff going up on there. Just be patient with me. Be patient. Editing's kind of hard. Yeah, so especially with this last video, it's really pushing my editing abilities. But we'll get it done, and we'll keep moving forward. So yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I'll catch you guys next week for Civil War. Tschüss.